H, smart marketing contract, board to review revised contracts.
This is another reiteration of the contract for your review. I assume you've had an opportunity to read it. The only thing not spelled out on page 1 is the final annual amount of it. We have it pre-approved right now in our budget, $20,000 for smart marketing. The monthly newsletter is running us about $1,000 to $1,200 a copy. So I'm asking for you to consider maybe adjusting the budget to $40,000 for the work.
Questions?
Well, I'd like to make a comment. I thought she was very helpful in our negotiations with the water agency in getting this most recent grant that we got. So she certainly benefits us.
It helps us make money.
Well, I do actually have an objection now that wasn't there previously when this contract came up. First of all, that $20,000 in the budget was not earmarked for smart marketing. $20,000 was earmarked for public outreach and GIS services. So that's the way it's written in the annual budget. $20,000 for those 2 services, not 1 service, first of all. The other thing is that since that contract was initially brought up, it's come to my attention that Smart Marketing has a conflict of interest and should not be doing PR for North Yuba Water District. She is currently representing 2 Yuba County supervisors that are bidding for re-election, and Yuba Water Agency is the agency that we are applying to for grants. And you cannot typically represent both sides of the table. That represents a conflict of interest. So I believe that we need to look for a PR firm outside Smart Marketing so that we don't have any conflict of interest, and find another firm that can help us with any public outreach that we need.
But you don't, just a question, you're not opposed to a contract as long as it's not smart marketing?
I am opposed to the fact that we have X's in here. I'm opposed to increasing it to $40,000 a year, because we don't have that in the budget. We had $20,000, and that was supposed to be for additional GIS services and public outreach. So we don't have that kind of money. We also have not received, as far as I know, we haven't received our revenues from South Feather, which means that right now we're operating on the revenues that we get from on the sources that we have in-house, which are only total somewhere in the neighborhood of about $550,000. So given that that's the amount of money we're working on right now, I can't see possibly going and saying, yeah, let's make $40,000 available for that. So yes, correct, I would not necessarily object to this contract, but I do object to Smart Marketing. There's a conflict of interest. And I also would object strongly and would not vote for $40,000 for public outreach. That's an enormous amount of money for a little water district.
I think you had a good point earlier when you had mentioned that this 1 month only had close to 5,000, over 5,000.
5,700, but we don't know what she actually did for that amount of money.
So, what I don't wanna see is us get to the end of our 20 and not have it, we're not at year's end. So I am for increasing it to 40,000.
And this essentially is an increase to the budget item.
Correct. So you're adding an additional
Changes
20,000.
the budget.
It's already 20,000.
Where is that money coming from? We've already approved an annual budget. That's $20,000 more. Where is that money gonna come from? Are you taking it from someplace else?
That would become just from general.
You've got $5 million in the bank,
Right.
so you can shore up your budget, whatever you please.
Any other comments?
I have a comment about the idea that a person that's in business for themselves has a conflict of interest if they have more than one customer that knows each other. I think that's total baloney. I think that it's extremely common. In fact, being a computer programmer, software developer. I have a lot of customers that know each other and go to conventions together as friends and work with each other. It's not at all uncommon. And so it's got, a conflict of interest would be if we were representing the supervisor and we were representing the Yuba Water Agency. But it's not us that's doing that, it's Crystal.
She would have a conflict of interest if she
Can we
represents
just
us
argue
and
that?
them.
Let's keep the comments. Any other comments from directors on this? Public comment.
Yeah,
Yes.
Crystal Martin helped Gary Hawthorne with his election, and I'm not sure how many other people of the board. And, I'm really myself against her being at almost every meeting Mr. Moffitt goes to and spending our money when, you know, we are still dealing with leaky ditches, major problems down in Oregon House that need to be repaired and fixed. I think it's exorbitant to be having this.
Yes, ma'am.
I, on the other hand, disagree with Jenny because I think Crystal Martin, whom I've known for many, many years, is an outstanding consultant. And she's a winner. And she strives hard, works hard, and she doesn't stop. If she's working for somebody, she is gonna win for that particular organization or the candidate. She has a reputation for being a winner. So I believe everybody wants her and not everybody can get her. So, I mean, that's on all sides. I've seen her represent conservatives, liberals, from all aspects, because that's what she does. She's smart, markets, and she's on all sides of the fence. So I don't see any conflict of interest with her. I've seen her too many times with candidates I agree with and candidates I oppose, and she works. She's paid to work.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
I think the conflict of interest comes in the fact that she knows people, what the water agency that the supervisors represent, and the water district. She knows facts. That's the problem. And she can leverage what she knows. And that's the problem.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
It's simple. It's the best. There's no more conflict of interest between Crystal Martin representing you guys and the agency or whoever than everybody having a conflict of interest who uses the Microsoft Windows platform. If there's any conflict of interest, it would be in a person spreading lies along with this alliance, trying to have a say in this agency, this district protecting itself. Because let's just go ahead and, you know, show the elephant in the room. You guys are at war. This district is at war for its soul. The people who live in it and the people who are guiding it and directing it. And Crystal Martin is a winner. If there was ever a person that I would hire for a campaign, it would be Crystal, and that's because she's the best. And if people are afraid of her, they probably have good reason to be.
Anyone else?
Yes, I have a comment. Alton Wright, Georgetown Brownsville, I am a marketer. And I've gone up against Crystal Martin, as everyone knows in this room. And the sad thing is, and I will agree with you, Mr. Cross, the sad thing is that this very, very, very small little agency, the image is so tarnished for decades that you have to spend ratepayer and taxpayer money to have to hire a public relations spin artist. It's really, really sad. There are other ways to spend the money than to use someone who's just going to spin. Thank you.
Okay.
One more.
Go ahead, Bud.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I find it ironic that the people, excuse me, I'm sorry. The people that make false accusations, make things up, and are overturned time after time, continue to do so. And then they complain about you spending money to protect yourself from a problem that those very people created. So, have at it, pass that sucker.
Anyone else? Okay. Anita. motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the contract
I'll second it.
with the 40.
With the 40,000.
Okay.
So you second that.
Okay, can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Hanser,
Yes.
Vice President Brown,
Yes.
Director Nelson.
Yes.
Director Hawthorne, President Moore.
No, this is fiduciary irresponsibility.
Please put that in
Thank you,
the
that's a no
minutes.
vote? Thank you. Okay,